We're on the home stretch of our course, but there's still a couple of weeks and more time for creativity. So I wanted to show you some of the techniques for creating brushes in Illustrator and controlling brushes in Illustrator. Now that we've already spoken about the symbol sprayer, which is like a spray can, kind of a brush, I want to look at this brushes palette. So if you don't have this open, you're looking for it now and opening it. It's called the brushes palette under window. And this is my brushes palette right here. Essentially in Illustrator, besides the symbol sprayer, there are 5 other types of brushes. A calligraphy brush, a scatter brush, an art brush, a bristle brush, and a pattern brush. Without having a Wacom tablet or a pressure sensitive tool, I won't be able to go over the bristle brush, although they're very interesting and great. If you have a Wacom tablet, you'll want to learn more about that. But I'm going to start with your basic calligraphy brush. So trying out a calligraphy brush with a colored tip here, I'm going to use this wonderful purple color and close up a couple of panels here that I don't need. Graphic styles, some extra objects. All right. Then I'm going to go to my brushes tool. Please look up. I've picked the actual brush. There's 2 brushes. There's the paintbrush tool, which I have not talked about a lot, and then the blob brush tool, which I have gone over extensively a couple of times during classes. But this one is the one I want, paintbrush tool. And if you are looking on screen, please look up. I'm going to click the flyout menu, and I'm going to choose New Brush. And the type of brush is actually already selected, which is a calligraphic brush, a calligraphy brush. By clicking OK, I enter into the calligraphic brush options. And I'm going to make a large brush, like a 30-point brush, to show what this brush looks like. Easily, I'm going to crush or scoot in the roundness of the brush, making it less round or flatter. And if I click, I can rotate the brush angle. So we have angle, we have roundness, more or less roundness, and we have size. So there's my size changing in the preview. Here is my angle, and here is my roundness. So go ahead and create your own calligraphic brush. I'm going to call this one my marker. I'm ending up by putting I think I want a 72 point brush, which is about 1 inch. And then the roundness is pretty low. It's on 20. And then the angle is at 51 degrees. And I'm going to click OK. Now with this brush in hand, I'm going to paint a letter L. There's my L. Click away here. That's looking kind of pale. Not digging that. So I must have some kind of issue with my layers because this looks kind of dim. Doesn't look like the right color. Alright, so my intensity in my brush is a little off. I'm going to go to Window and find my Appearance panel. Not sure why at this point I'm doing this very faded looking. My opacity is at 45. See how easy it is? Once you are practicing a lot, you'll be thinking in the right way. Okay, so my brush is too fat. I like it, it's groovy. However, let us just say, please stay with me here, that I had gone ahead and painted the entire word that I want to paint. Okay. But I'm like, I need this to fit on the screen, even though I've done a fantastic job painting this, it's too big. If you're watching, you will notice that I can come over here to my brushes panel, nothing is selected. Double click my marker brush and change it. I could make the size less and click OK, and then Illustrator will ask me, do I want to apply these to the strokes or leave the strokes that I've already created alone? I want to apply to the strokes. So everything is thinner when I apply it to the strokes. If I double click, I can increase it back again. I'll make it 42. Apply to strokes. And here I will delete again. Go back to my brush, paint my word again. Go ahead and paint a short word with your calligraphy brush. There we go. Looking better. Can I use the width tool? If I select this width tool and I click and drag on it, I cannot use the width tool. Okay? I could use the smooth tool, but I cannot use this as if it's a regular shape. Yeah, because it's a brush. It's connected in a relationship with the original, right? That's in the brushes panel. Right, so that is a calligraphy brush, and I think you probably have a good, strong understanding of the point of why you might want that to do some kind of a hand-painted look. Once you have your word, I'm going to ask you to select the letters of your word. And try something surprising. So I'll give you a minute to wrap it up with your calligraphy brush. You might want to do a quick practice of altering the brush, right, such as going into that brush tool and changing something and applying the changes. Doesn't look a whole lot different, but I did bring them up 3 points. All right. So I'm going to show this. If you need me to go over it again, I will. But take a look at this interesting way of making a brush. The next type of brush I want to talk about is the art brush. That was the calligraphy brush. Now I'm going to select these characters and I'm going to drag them over and drop them at the bottom of my brushes panel. And when I release, I get a question about the new brush I want to make. Do I want to make it get into a scatter brush or an art brush? I'm going to choose art brush. Click OK. Then I get another panel. This panel is my ability to indicate the direction I expect to be moving my hand when I paint with this art brush. This arrow is the way to move your hand. You could move it up, left, down, right. And I'm going to leave it as such, fixed, and click OK. And if you look in the palette now of brushes, you'll see there's my brush. Now make sure I say this with a lot of clarity, that nothing is selected, then choose your brush tool, then choose the art brush from the menu. And if you're looking on screen, you'll see that I can now paint with this word. Command Z for undo. If you go straight, it'll be pretty similar. If you go wide, it'll stretch it out. If you go up and down, it'll try to make your word follow the line you paint. So you can get some very interesting results with this that you did never expect it to have happen. And those are the first two of the brushes that I'm going to show today. The calligraphy brush and the first part of the art brush. I'll show you a little bit more about the art brush in a moment after you've had a chance to practice this.